thelandofisrael.com, and Israel National TV present Ari Abramowitz and Jeremy Gimpel. Live from the heart of Israel, it's Tuesday Night Live in Jerusalem.
Everybody, and welcome to the season premiere of Tuesday Night Live in Jerusalem. I'm Jeremy Gimpel. This is Ari Abramowitz, and tonight, this is Ari Abramowitz!
You love that.
You love that.
It's true.
Tonight, we're going to take a deeper look into Israel. We're going to try to figure out a solution to the crisis here in the Middle East. And I know that's a lot to chew. That's a big bite, but that's why we have Ari here. He's going to keep us on the straight and narrow.
Was that a fat joke?
No.
This entire week, everything is a fat joke. Since I got married to that woman over there, I maybe put on something between 5, 6, 7, 50 pounds, but we have like 40 people for Shabbat dinner, and I'm stuck with the leftovers. That's not the issue. Jeremy and I sort of envisioned tonight being like a massive brainstorming session where everybody's invited but the politicians. No politicians allowed. Because if there's one thing that's clear, it's that the crisis that we're facing here is not a political one, and the solution is definitely not political either. I mean, how many failed experiments do we need to go through before we realize that possibly the politicians are causing more damage than they are good? I mean, look, there's Oslo, there's Madrid, there's there's Camp David, constantly over and over again. And the honest truth is that I don't want to be a negative guy, and I'm sure they're all well-meaning people, but I cannot listen to it anymore. I can't listen to the same words, the same empty jargon. The minute I start hearing the news and the words start coming, I get that glazed look in my eye, and I put on my drool bib, and I have the goofy look on my face, because like the brain cramps are too much. I can't hear the words. They say things like, it is time to seize the opportunity to unilaterally bipartisan negotiate with the Palestinian Authority, the moderates, vis-a-vis Hamas with the occupied territories according to United Nations Resolution 249, Article A. And it's like, okay, enough. This clearly doesn't have to do with anything. So Jeremy and I wanted to come together, and hopefully out of tonight, we can emerge with maybe one concise, articulate, well-phrased solution to the crisis in the Middle East. You know, knowing Jeremy and myself and our beloved audience, it would probably result in immediate nuclear war. Or prevent immediate nuclear, one or the other, but something's got to happen.
Well, the truth is, Ari and I started Tuesday Night Live in Jerusalem because we wanted to help Israel. We wanted to help the Jewish people. It seems like no matter what we do, Israel is always blamed. The United Nations blames us for everything. I mean, we're blamed. War crimes, is that our national sport? What are we going to do with them? And we said we want to show the world a different Israel. We want to show the world the Israel we love, the Israel we left America for, the Israel we've been praying for 2,000 years, the Israel where every grandmother is your grandmother, and every public building has a mezuzah. And this country is so amazing. It's remarkable, and we never get any credit. This is the only country in the world that ended last century with more trees than it started with. After America, we have more companies listed on the NASDAQ exchange than any other country in the world. And for some reason, we're always being condemned. We're always being blamed. But when you look at the condemnations over the years for all of the problems in the Middle East, you see a common thread, a common theme throughout all of them. It's the settlements. It's the 1967 borders. If we could just get rid of the settlements, a new era of peace would reign here in the Middle East. And I don't really know what to do with that, but to put things into perspective, I want to tell a story. I remember right after the disengagement, an Israeli newspaper reporter went down to Gaza and interviewed a local Arab sheikh and asked him, now that the disengagement is complete, what is the first thing you're going to do as the people of Gaza? And he said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rename these sites in their ancient Arab names. The Israeli reporter pulled out an old Arab map from before 1967. They opened up the map to see the Arab names. And they looked, and there were no Arab names. There were no Arab towns. They just saw sand dunes and sand dunes. We're called occupiers. What were the people of Gush Katif occupying? Sand dunes? I mean, were these farmers that went to the desert and made it blossom with flourishing farms, were they really the obstacle to the peace process? I mean, I don't want to, ruin people's fun. I enjoy good old-fashioned anti-Semitism as the next guy. The self-hatred is great, but I do want to state a few facts that you're never going to hear on CNN. What actually happened when the Jewish people started settling the lands of Judea, Samaria, and Gaza? Well, from 1968, the first settlement, until 1992, the beginning of the peace process, the territory saw an annual economic growth of 25%. The average Arab income tripled. So did their birth rate. The average Arab income in Gaza grew 20-fold. 2,500 factories were built, 7 universities were established, and the life expectancy almost doubled, jumping from 40 to 70. Are the settlements the problem? The settlements are the greatest thing that's ever happened to the Middle East.
So we know our audience.
Thank you.
Now we all know the saying. We know the saying, 2 Jews, 3 opinions, and we know that in this country it's particularly true. But when it comes to this issue that Jeremy's talking about, the issue of settlements, it is the most emotional, the most visceral subject you can ever bring up. There are people who are totally convinced that the settlements are the cause of the problem in the Middle East. And there are people who are totally convinced that it's the solution to the problem in the Middle East. I think those people could be in our audience. So, if you were to go to, let's say, the brave pioneers in the hills of Judea, living in the Jewish towns and villages and cities that the world calls settlements, but are really just Jewish towns, villages, and cities in Judea and Samaria, they would say probably that the settlements, that their homes, the land they live on, is the lifeblood of the Jewish people. It's our heartland. It's the front lines against terror. That's the first place that they're going to go. If they were able to conquer the settlements, they'll shoot missiles into Tel Aviv, anywhere. They are holding the fort. The term in Hebrew for settlements is actually much more fitting. It's hitnachluyot. We've spoken about this before. Hitnachluyot means, it's from nachala, which means heritage. Now, what's the difference between heritage and inheritance? An inheritance is something you could choose to forego, take it or leave it. Heritage is part of who you are. It's something that you cannot leave if you want to leave it. It's part of your very essence. And the Jews of Judea and Samaria, they would say that those homes, those hills, are part of who they are and part of their very essence. And the truth is, it's part of our very essence as well. Okay, now I'm going to try to get into the heads of those well-meaning Jews that believe that the settlements are the cause of all of the world conflicts. Give me one moment. Okay. They believe that despite the fact that the entire Muslim Arab world considers all of Israel settlements, and the leaders and the charters all call for the complete destruction of Israel and the establishment of Palestine, and that the PLO was established in 1964 before the settlements were even around. What were they trying to liberate? That despite all of this, the settlements are the cause of everything bad in the world. Okay, so maybe that wasn't so neutral. Maybe that wouldn't make the Peace Now brochure. But the truth is that we decided to go out to the streets. We decided to go to the settlements. We decided to go to really the ideological incubators that the religious right and that the secular left comes from, so we can hear directly what they have to say. So come along with us on an odyssey of happiness and tears and joy that we call Meet the Streets.
And now, Meet the Street with Ari and Jeremy.
Ari and I decided it's time to take a deeper look at the crisis in the Middle East. We want to find out the underlying essence of the challenges that face the Jewish people here. For that, we need to find people of thought, people of vision, people of understanding. What do you think the biggest problem in Israel is today?
that we have just one wall of the Kotel and no Beit HaMikdash at all.
Looking for the best and brightest, Jeremy and I crossed the 67 borders and visited Torah institutions throughout the hills of Judea. And eager to hear what the other side has to say, the very next day we went to the beacon of Western secularism, at least in Jerusalem, that is, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. What do you think, clearly other than your existence here, is the biggest problem facing the Jewish people today?
I think the biggest problem facing us is a lack of an ability to understand that really we have to be ourselves.
What do you think the obstacle is?
The main obstacle is the settlements.
What do you say to the people that say that it's cowboy settlers that are the obstacle to peace in the Middle East?
I think they're probably absolutely correct, although I haven't met one yet.
What do you think about the settlements?
Well, it's terrible, it's like, it's not gonna bring peace ever, and...
You're saying the settlement freeze is terrible, the fact that they're not letting Jews build in the land of Israel?
It's not the land of Israel, if we will be reasonable and, have two states, because that's the only solution we have.
I think the main problem is the,
Gush Katif.
Yes.
Like if we get out of Gush Katif, everything will be good.
Yeah, more or less. I think it's the main problem.
We got out.
In our side, there is many problems in the other side.
We got out of Gush Katif already.
Really?
I think the biggest problem facing Jewish people today around the world is fear. We have fear of what people will think about us, how we would look to the world. I think the biggest problem is that we forgot that being Jewish is being proud.
The biggest challenge for us is trying to understand our identity.
Our lack of unity is really what holds us back from being able to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
What do you think, coming from Los Angeles here in Israel, is the biggest problem in the Middle East?
How much time do you have? There are a lot.
All right, guys, what is the biggest problem facing the Jewish people today? Just pop them out. Intermarriage. Iran. Ignorance. What about people who are ignorant about the intermarriage problem we're facing in Iran?
This conflict, it's about religion. And because of this fact, I'm very skeptical about the chance that there is ever going to be peace here.
Government.
That's our problem in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't care. Like, how it ends, just it ends.
So what is the obstacle to peace in the Middle East?
Giving the Arabs too much land?
That's the obstacle.
Yes, because then they keep on blowing us up.
There's like an internal gullus, there's internal
exile.
And that spans from Chilonim in Tel Aviv to people in Mea Shearim.
Well, you're living out in the hills of Judea. A lot of the world considers you the biggest problem that the Jewish people in the world face today. Why is it so important for you to live out here to express your Judaism?
Well, first of all, the fact that people consider me the biggest problem, it's to some degree because I'm not really me. I'm not a person. I'm a symbol. I'm a quote-unquote settler. I'm something that's sort of, the monster under the bed that sort of like, that just exists outside of, right? Other. But really, I think that this is the place that I can grow in the ways that I have to grow, right? Like everybody has to find the place in the world and sort of the thing that they're doing in the world that makes them sort of like become themselves. And this is right now the only place that me, my family, where we can become ourselves.
What do you think of the settlements?
Oh, I don't know enough about them to talk about them.
Would you want to come out to the settlements maybe and spend Shabbat there with us?
Okay.
Are you a settler?
Not in the political sense.
I don't know what that means. Are you a settler?
I am living on the land in the hills of Yehuda presently.
Behind the green line?
Yes.
You don't look like it. The socks and the sandals, there might be something there to settler-like behavior. But other than that, you look like a very normal guy that I'd meet in like a philosophy class in Hebrew University.
That's possible.
There's a certain contradiction, a big contradiction even, between Zionism as I understand it and the settlements.
Myself, as just a 22-year-old living here, trying to learn Torah, trying to understand the way of life, my fight isn't this big war on, Israel against Palestinians, Jews against Muslims. I feel it's like people want to live. People want to have a good life. I mean, the basic, I think, idea is if you bring someone into your house, he shouldn't try to kill you.
And I actually took demagoguery here at Hebrew U in the other branch of the university, Demagoguery 101. And they taught me that one of the most important skills to have is to be able to bypass the intellect and go straight for the emotion. I know you're in a rush. Quick exercise. Close your eyes for 1 second.
Okay.
Picture you're a 5-year-old, your eyes are open. Picture you're a 5-year-old girl in the hills of Judea in Hebron. Your father promises to build you a seesaw on your 6th birthday. It's coming up, and all of a sudden government says, you can't have your seesaw. You're so angry. How do you feel?
No, I understand where
you're a 6-year-old girl. You understand the government's settlement for you?
Well, I can't put myself in the place of a 6-year-old girl.
But that's a strange thing for a 6-year-old girl to say. I mean,
let me just put it this way. I see where both sides are coming from. I understand the complexity of the issue.
For me, I don't care. I mean, just let them live. Just let the ports open, food come in. You heard about that problem, right?
About what? Which problem?
In Gaza.
Oh, that they stopped the boat with all the arms coming in that were arming.
No.
I think the idea now is to actually grow up, get off each high horse, and have actual solutions.
But people are riding horses. You're saying that it's the horses.
Figure of speech, like people are too caught up in their own ways that
they won't get off horses and let other people have their horses to ride on.
Yes, and they're not recognizing that at the end of the day, everyone just wants a home.
So they should live on their horse?
Well, I mean, what happened in Gaza, it was terrible, and apparently it was terrible. Like even there was, I'm not sure what was the name of the newspaper, but it was in the Israeli newspaper where the soldiers themselves have testimonies of killing civilians. And I don't think that helped them in any way or helped anybody. Like now we are having pressure from the US and Europe because we did that.
Do you think though that the terrorists were using civilians as human shield?
They may have, yeah.
So the question is, let's say if I hold a 12-year-old boy and I start shooting people in the street, how many people do I need to kill until I'm shot at?
Okay, I understand.
If I kill 10 people, can you shoot back at me?
I understand what you're saying.
10,000.
I will tell you.
Because if the Hamas is shooting onto kindergartens and they're putting up human shields, who really killed those civilians? Was it the IDF or was it the Hamas?
It was the Hamas because they are the one who used them as a human shield. But I tell you something.
So then why blame the IDF? If you said that it's the Hamas, you should stand proud. Say, we're defending the people in Sderot. We're defending the people in Ashkelon. They're shooting kindergartens. We're trying so hard, giving them messages saying we're bombing here, bombing there, and still they're blaming us?
What do you think of the settlements?
What is the settlements?
The settlements, the Jewish cities in Judea and Samaria. I respect that conviction to say, I'm not going to call them settlements. They're Jewish cities in Judea and Samaria. That's a strong Jewish perspective.
Yeah, it's important. It's our land. It's Israel. It's not something else. That is Judea. We are Jewish. We belong there.
But for me as an American, to try to put myself in and say, well, I think it's a good idea, I don't think it's a good idea, I think that...
But you're also a Jew.
I'm not a Jew.
But you're a Christian.
I am a Christian.
So you believe in the Bible?
I do.
So you believe that God gave the land of Israel to the Jewish people?
I do.
So there we go.
But also as a Christian, I also have a different perspective, and so I don't feel like it's my place to put my views into the conflict that's here.
So what is the solution to this problem?
God, I don't know. I hope I know. Nobody knows. It's so long. I don't know.
I try to live in a place of emunah. Like I try to live in a place of faith, of understanding that what's happening now has to happen right now, and things will, larger things will move in the world that will take it to different places. So I'm not going to pretend that I have a big answer for like what to do in terms of this place. But again, I think that the root is just sort of like, let's get connected to ourselves and to one another, and that's where we have to be heading.
We've been on a long journey as a Jewish people. We've been through a lot. We need to, instead of focusing on current events, I think we need to focus on our roots, where our history is from, and of course, learn that in the context of the Torah. Which is also a major aspect, if not the central aspect of our identity. The more we connect to our history, to our roots, to where we come from, and the more we connect to our Torah, the more we understand the path which will guide us to the greatest fulfillment and the greatest peace.
You're saying that the crisis with Iran, the nuclear bombs, the terrorists, the Hamas, all of these things are being created because we don't know who we are?
Yeah, I believe that the creator of the universe, Kadosh Baruch Hu, is using these puppets. If we were to figure out some solution today to get rid of all the Palestinians, it wouldn't matter. God would bring another tzorer, as we see in the the books of the Tanakh, the Judges and Malachim, if it wasn't one oppressor, it was another. And every time it was always there for the same reason, to help us come to a place of introspection and analyze where we're doing things wrong, where our connection with our Creator is awry, where it's mistaken, and from there we have to make the correction.
We have a saying in Tehillim, David HaMelech wrote Tehillim, says, Leman achai v're'aya dabrana shalom bach, leman bet Hashem Elokeinu avaksha tov lach. For the sake of my family and my God, because all I want to do is worship God and create a family, I want the best for you. That's real peace, not when I say, I won't kill you, you won't kill me. That's not peace. Peace is not, I'm not going to kill you, you don't kill me. That's the world thinks, they're wrong. Peace is an active thing. I want the best for you and you want the best for me, then we settle. That's peace. If I want the best for you, because we all believe in one God. We all believe there's one God out there, and we just want to, worship Him. So I want the best for you. You have your mosques, you have your prayings, and you raise your family. And I have my shultz, I have my Beis Medrash, I sit and learn Torah. And we just want the best for each other, because for the sake of one God.
Life here in Bahrain, in addition to the learning that you do, and the olive trees that you uproot, and the Arab gardens, and the rocks that you throw, what else do you do to bring world peace?
First of all, I've never uprooted an olive tree in my life.
Come on.
I plant trees much more than I uproot them. We do a lot of, thank God, we actually get the chance to really live in Eretz Israel here, and we sort of plant a lot, and we eat from our gardens here.
So then what's the solution to the biggest problem we face?
Silence.
That's that's the solution or that's the problem?
That's the solution.
Just to be quiet. Damn, you're deep. Ari, it's not an olive tree. Ari, that's your car, Ari. After hearing the thoughts and ideas of the Torah institutions in the settlements and the people at Hebrew University in Jerusalem, stay tuned next week when we have with us Carolyn Glick, the deputy editor of the Jerusalem Post. Shalom from Jerusalem.